Level 1. Mysterious China Possession. On June 15, 2014, a video titled Mysterious China Possession surfaced on the shadowy corners of YouTube, opening a window into a realm so unsettling it sends shivers down the spine. The footage, set in what appears to be a house in China, begins in a dimly lit room where a young woman lies crumpled on the floor, her hair disheveled, her face eerily expressionless, her fate uncertain, alive or otherwise. Two figures, their identity shrouded in mystery, loom over her. A man grips the woman's hands tightly, restraining her. The second figure, murmuring words that sound like a chant or incantation, breaks an egg into a bowl. They then take a second egg, unbroken, and rub it across the woman's body, their whispers unrelenting. When they finally crack the egg into the bowl, the contents spill out pitch black, a sinister omen that could only herald dread. Before anyone can react, the woman bolts upright on the bed, seizing the black liquid and gulping it down, her body no longer her own, as if something else commands her movements. In a horrifying crescendo, black fluid seeps from her mouth and eyes, and she collapses once more, unconscious, teetering on the edge of life and death. The camera cuts off, but not for long. Within seconds, it flickers back to life, now filming from a back alley. Someone lies sprawled on the ground. The woman's screams pierce the air, but before anyone can reach her, the figure on the ground is dragged away, vanishing into the darkness, as if a third presence lurks in the shadows. The woman screams again, stumbling forward, and in the depths of that darkness, she sees something perhaps the last thing she'll ever see. Bowl of soup. On March 23, 2014, a bizarre video titled blankroomsoup.av was uploaded to YouTube. It felt like something from another world. The video showed two people in creepy puppet masks sitting in a stark, empty white room. In front of them was a bowl of soup. One forcibly fed the other spoonfuls of soup. The room's cold, lifeless atmosphere, like an abandoned basement, was unnerving. The only sounds were the faint clink of the spoon against the bowl and eerie background music. The strange masks and barren setting instilled a deep sense of unease in viewers, as if something was profoundly wrong, yet no one could pinpoint what. As the video spread, so did speculation. Its raw intensity felt too real, though many dismissed it as a creepypasta, a fictional horror video made for entertainment. Others believed it could be real footage of something dangerous or illegal. Rumors swirled that it originated from the dark web, possibly depicting physical or psychological abuse. Some analyzed the video frame by frame for clues, while others theorized it was a psychological experiment to gauge reactions to disturbing content. No evidence confirmed any theory. The YouTube account, belonging to someone named Ray Ray, was a ghost uploading only this video before vanishing. People tried tracking Ray Ray down, but hit dead ends. To this day, no one knows the video's purpose or why it evokes such dread. Hostage crisis with a hand grenade. On July 7, 1998, in Guatemala City, Guatemala, a shocking and terrifying hostage situation unfolded, capturing widespread attention. Henry Giovanni Estrada, a prisoner accused of murder, was being escorted to his trial when he made a desperate bid to avoid conviction. While under police escort, Henry requested a bathroom break, which was granted, as the officers had no inkling of his plan. Astonishingly, when he emerged, he was holding a hand grenade, stunning the officers, court staff, and police. Seizing the moment, Henry took two court employees, a man and a woman, as hostages, dragging them outside. Police surrounded him but were paralyzed by the threat of the grenade. The standoff stretched into the night, with no easy resolution. Henry, moving with his visibly terrified yet outwardly calm hostages, issued demands. After tense negotiations, he agreed to release one hostage at the El Salvador border in exchange for a van, a driver, and a loaded firearm. The police provided the van, and Henry, with his hostages, drove toward the border overnight. The next morning, near the border, he kept his word, releasing the male hostage, who was quickly whisked away by officers. The female hostage remained, and Henry grew agitated, demanding the promised gun. An officer approached with the weapon, engaging Henry in conversation to distract him while holding on to the gun. Simultaneously, another officer swiftly pulled the female hostage from the van in a daring rescue. After a 20-hour ordeal, Henry was left with no leverage, his hostages safe. Unwilling to face arrest, he chose to detonate the grenade, ending his life. Fortunately, the explosion harmed no one else, and Henry's dramatic saga concluded with the same grenade that had sparked it. Everest climber incident. In January 2021, on the Khumbu Icefall along the route to Mount Everest summit in Tibet, a group of climbers attempted to cross a dangerous crevasse. At first, it seemed like a routine ascent, but soon, unease set in. In the footage recorded by one of the climbers, the group prepared to cross using a ladder laid across the gap. One man stepped forward, beginning the shaky crossing. His breathing was heavy, his steps uncertain, every movement betraying the tension of the moment. Despite the ropes and safety gear, disaster struck. The mountaineer lost his balance, flipped upside down, and was left dangling by the rope that tethered him to the ladder.
How can I help?
Your leg has to be down.
Suspended and swaying, fear overtook him as his companions rushed to help. They tried to pull him up, but failed. Time was slipping away, and if the rope snapped, the consequences would be fatal. Just in time, a group of Sherpas joined the effort. Sherpas, native experts of Everest, are known for preparing routes, securing paths, and, in critical moments, saving lives. One even climbed onto the ladder itself to assist, but the man remained trapped in his perilous position. Finally, the team resorted to their last option. Several Sherpas anchored themselves and began pulling on the rope with all their strength. After minutes of relentless effort, the climber managed to grasp the edge of the ladder and haul himself back up. They laid him down, removed his heavy backpack, and allowed him to recover. Relief spread across the group as smiles replaced fear. The rescue had succeeded.
Thanks. Oh, man. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Ready to continue, Holland?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a strong man.
Yes.
Even on the slopes of the world's highest mountain, humanity finds ways to save one another, turning the deadliest moments into proof of shared resilience. Level 2. Dark Jaw. Young girl and boy. Recently, Rosanna bought a new house and began moving in, only to realize something was terribly wrong. It all started on April 28, 2024, when she posted her first video on TikTok. This first video horrified viewers. Rosanna had moved her belongings into the house, but hadn't unpacked all the boxes when she fell asleep. At 2 a.m., she was startled awake by strange noises from inside the room. Entering the hallway, she saw a scooter moving on its own, while sounds echoed from the bathroom. She filmed everywhere, even behind the door, to show no one was there. After this, Rosanna sent her children to their father's house and stayed alone. On May 1, 2024, she uploaded her second video, recording after hearing footsteps from her children's room. Terrified, Rosanna told her followers she'd seek a priest's help and try any solution. They suggested reading the Quran or Bible, but nothing worked. 5 days later, she posted her third video. Rosanna, who never believed in the supernatural, felt trapped in a horror movie, facing something far more sinister. After the third video, she moved to a hotel, hoping the incidents would stop, but they didn't. She uploaded another video. At 3:30 a.m., she heard a terrifying sound of something being pounded. Reviewing old footage, Rosanna noticed something she'd missed in a video featuring her cat. Her cat appeared to see something in the hallway, taking a defensive stance, as if ready to attack until...
Qu'est-ce qu'il y a? Hey! Hey!
Her followers split into two groups, those who believed her and those who thought the videos were staged. Rosanna insisted she didn't care if people thought they were fake. She was living in hell. She wasn't earning money from the videos, ruling out fame or profit as motives. The incidents grew more intense. This time, besides pounding noises, she heard the entity's voice saying, "Come to her." Concerned followers asked why she didn't leave or sell the house. Rosanna explained, her family lived in Spain. She couldn't leave due to a property deed issue, and she didn't want to abandon her dream of a happy life with her kids and cat. But the events escalated in the next video. While sleeping on the living room couch, unable to stay in her bedroom, she noticed the house's lights flickering on and off. Objects fell, but then she saw a black shadow behind the door, resembling a little girl with hollow eye sockets. Rosanna believed the entity fed on her fear. She knew she shouldn't be afraid, but how could she not? She tried everything her followers suggested, sprinkling salt around the house, hiring exorcists and priests. But after brief calm, the entity returned, angrier and more aggressive in the next video. While filming, a mannequin's head on a table began moving. The TV fell, and the mannequin's head turned to follow her, as if watching. When Rosanna told it to stop, a voice replied no. She set up a camera above her bed, suspecting the entity haunted her even in sleep, hoping it was just a nightmare. It wasn't. While she slept, something appeared above her in the next video. Rosanna moved to a hotel again, then to Spain to stay with her mother. For a while, no updates came until she posted another video, worse than ever. After this, Rosanna stopped filming, believing it worsened the situation. She said her followers hadn't seen everything. TikTok removed some videos, and the reality was far worse. She checked into a treatment center to find peace and see if the entity followed her outside the house, as evil entities attack her. On February 13, 2018, at the Repubblica metro station in Milan, a 2-year-old boy named Mohammed was with his mother on the platform. It was an ordinary day until Mohammed suddenly broke free from his mother's grasp and ran toward the platform's edge. In an instant, he lost his balance and fell onto the train tracks. The crowded station froze in shock. Mohammed's mother was paralyzed with fear, screaming, as people gathered around the platform. The train was approaching, with only 90 seconds to spare. At that moment, an 18-year-old student, Lorenzo Pianazza, without a second thought, threw his backpack to the ground and sprinted onto the tracks. He swiftly picked up the boy, and the train arrived exactly 1 minute later. Had Lorenzo hesitated even a moment, disaster would have been inevitable.
Level 3. Obey the Walrus.
In late 2007, a video was uploaded to YouTube by a user named Obeyorus. A creation so bizarre that the channel, shrouded in mystery, was soon erased, and the video itself vanished for reasons unknown, yet spread like a virus across the internet's dark corners. The footage begins with an animated image of Andros, the sinister antagonist from the Star Fox game, eerily lip-syncing a Spanish version of Itsy Bitsy Spider. Abruptly, the scene shifts to distorted, manipulated clips from another video, a jarring descent into the uncanny. Then, a woman appears, dancing in a strangely hypnotic rhythm, casting mysterious glances at the camera, her movements unrelenting. The video ends with a sudden haunting image of a walrus, as if commanding obedience. This surreal collage left viewers with a creeping sense of dread, as though they had glimpsed something cursed. Rumors swirled that watching the video brought misfortune, a digital hex cast upon the unwary. But who was the woman at its heart? Sandy Crisp, known by her stage name, the Goddess Bunny, was a real and complex figure in Hollywood's underground art scene. Born on January 13, 1960, in Santa Monica, California, she later embraced her identity as a trans woman, adopting the name Sandy. Her life was marked by unrelenting hardship. Stricken with polio as a child, medical errors left her body severely impaired, a metal rod inserted in her spine only worsening her condition, forcing her to rely on a wheelchair or cane. Sandy's early years were spent in foster care, where she endured repeated abuse. Yet, her spirit remained unbroken. In the 1980 seconds, she carved a place for herself in Hollywood's underground, shining as a drag queen, model, and actress in Los Angeles' nocturnal art scenes and nightclubs. She appeared in films like Hollywood Vice Squad and various music videos, her presence magnetic. Sandy was the focus of a 1094 documentary, The Goddess Bunny, directed by Nick Bougas, which chronicled her gender transition, her battles with illness, and her vibrant role in Hollywood's fringes. Until her death in January 2021 from COVID-related complications, Sandy resided in a care facility in Inglewood, California. But what of the video's origins? The clip was first drawn from the 1094 documentary, The Goddess Bunny, created by philanthropist. In 2006, it surfaced on eBaum's World, and by 2007, the infamous edited versions, laced with eerie distortions, exploded onto YouTube. It became an internet phenomenon. It spread relentless. Some claimed Obedece a la Morsa was crafted by a shadowy Latin American cult called La Morsa, luring people into its grasp, compelling them to commit unspeakable acts. Others said they contacted the cult's leader, but with no evidence and the video's digital traces erased, it remains unproven whether this was merely a chilling montage or something far darker.
Miscalculation.
At a construction site, workers were lifting a heavy steel beam using a forklift and attached jib. As the beam was hoisted, a horrifying mishap occurred. The forklift lost its balance. This caused immense pressure on the surrounding scaffolding, and then, at the same time, a skyjack, a mobile elevated platform, was nearby and nearly crushed in the incident. The root cause was a miscalculation. In construction sites, every detail must be precisely calculated, as a single small error can lead to catastrophe.
Festival.
In November 2017, the town of Foyas, Spain, hosted its annual Toro Embolado Festival, a term in Latin roughly meaning bull with balls. This ancient tradition involves attaching flaming balls to a bull's horns and releasing it into a carnival arena. The festival took place at night, with spectators wearing scarves, enjoying the event, when suddenly the bull, its horns ablaze, charged toward an unlucky man in the middle. He tried to escape, but it was futile. The bull was faster. The bull passed, but the man didn't get up. People gathered around him, but he seemed unconscious or unable to move. Though he sustained minimal physical injuries, the psychological trauma from that night was immense.
Gas leak.
On January 1, 2025, at an LPG gas station in Pyeongchang, South Korea, New Year's Eve festivities were in full swing. People lined up to fill their car tanks, eager to return home when chaos erupted. At 8:41 p.m., a gas leak ignited, engulfing the station in a horrific explosion. The blaze swallowed the entire building and spread to nearby structures. 5 people were injured, some with severe burns, and rushed to hospitals. Reports indicated that a liquid petroleum gas, LPG leak, caused the disaster, a tragedy that might have been less catastrophic if detected sooner.
Level 4. Who is behind our face?
The story begins in 1098. Olivier de Sagazan, born in Brazzaville, Congo, created a performance piece called Transfiguration. He has performed it over 300 times across 25 countries, but this particular video seemed to seep into the soul of anyone who watched it. In a dimly lit room, a man in simple clothing, Olivier himself, stands before the camera. Within moments, he begins smearing clay onto his face and body, then adds layers of paint, each stroke distorting his features further.
Ça, c'est le gars de temps, là, comme ça. Entre tout ça, tout ça, là, il doit être là. Il doit être là, comme ça. Allez, comme ça. Là, derrière. Voilà, comme ça, chercher. Allez! Allez, tu dors encore. Ça va être à toi, ça va être à toi, derrière la petite. Le contrôle. Alors, tu n'as que ça à dire que tu as un peu de peur, là. Un peu de peur, là, comme ça.
Each stroke distorting his features further. His face, once human, dissolves into something unrecognizable, a haunting mask of primal chaos. This was no mere performance. Olivier was revealing something profound, something many refused to accept. With each layer of clay and color, he drew viewers deeper into an unsettling abyss where identity and humanity blur into the unknown.
The tragedy of a water-loving adventurer. Jacob Cockle had loved the sea since childhood, especially the thrill of riding waves. From his early years and later through his teenage days, he devoted more and more of his time to daring adventures in the water. He cared little for school or study. His true passion was the ocean. In 2001, his sister Grace was diagnosed with a brain tumor. The news struck Jacob hard, but he stood by her side in every way he could. The two were very close. In December 2002, Grace passed away from cancer. Jacob, just 17 at the time, felt as if her spirit had entered his own. That belief pushed him further toward dangerous, thrilling, and untested experiences in the water. Determined not only to surf, but also to capture the ocean's beauty, he set his sights on becoming one of the best photographers and filmmakers in the world. His drive paid off. By his early 20s, he had already won multiple prestigious awards, including recognition from National Geographic. His photographs and videos, often taken in the midst of surfing and waterborne adventures, were uploaded to YouTube, where they reached millions of viewers. The content was gripping, mesmerizing, and filled with tension. But one of those adventures would not end like the rest. Jacob traveled to Haley Harbor in Cornwall, England, to see a well-known whirlpool. This vortex, which appeared several times a year, helped regulate the harbor by preventing water levels from rising too high. On May 28, 2013, Jacob arrived with a friend, and there he made a risky decision. He would swim in and around the whirlpool itself. He wore a neoprene suit and even pulled on a horsehead mask to make the footage more striking for YouTube. Ignoring posted danger warnings, he entered the water with his camera and began swimming, circling, and diving. For nearly half an hour, he played with the whirlpool, sometimes skimming its surface, sometimes descending beneath it to film the swirling current from below. His excitement showed clearly on his face. He chatted with his friend, took breaks, even removed the mask a few times before diving back in. everything seemed under control. But then came a single choice that changed everything. For one final dramatic shot, Jacob wanted to dive directly beneath the whirlpool and film upward while swimming below it. His friend urged him not to, but Jacob insisted. This time, the power of the whirlpool pulled him down. He couldn't break free and never resurfaced. After an extended search, his friend discovered his body further down the harbor. The sudden loss shook everyone who knew him. His funeral drew so many mourners that not all could fit inside the church. Jacob had always lived for his passion, not only for himself, but for the sister he had lost. He refused to fear judgment or the risks of chasing what he loved. In the end, he gave his life while creating his final work of art. That last act ensured his memory would live on, forever bound to the water he loved. Level 5. Death recorded.
In early 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic forced everyone into quarantine, and many were slipping into depression. Ernest Wilson, a 24-year-old full of energy before the crisis, was no exception. Cut off from friends and with no more parties or gatherings,
And there's people upstairs.
he decided to take matters into his own hands. He rented a house near his home in the Federal Hill neighborhood and invited friends over, charging a small entry fee. The first party was a success. Not only did Ernest have fun, but he also made a small profit. This encouraged him to continue hosting to earn some income. He had a select group of friends and acquaintances, sharing the address of the rental house only with them. To his friends, Ernest was vibrant and charismatic, a master at hosting parties and managing crowds. But on April 4, 2024, things took a tragic turn. That night, he hosted a private party at an Airbnb on 1100 S. Charles St., live streaming it on Facebook. Around 2:30 a.m., while playing hide and seek, Ernest was live, searching for his friends.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I can hear y'all. 14, 15. I can see y'all. 16, 17. Don't walk this way because you're going to get caught. 18, 19. Thank you. Go the other way. You're making it too easy. 20, 21, 22, 23.
They turned off all the lights to make the game more thrilling. With his phone in hand, Ernest went to the backyard to look for them when a strange shadow appeared behind the fence.
27, 28, 29, 30, because I'm tired of fucking counting. Ready or not, here I come. Lock the door so nigga the open dope on me. Ain't nobody in the bathroom. I didn't think nobody. Fuck. Oh, alright. His ass. I'm leaving everything open. Ain't nowhere to hide. Next time they on y'all ass. Down here. The front door locked. Dumbass. I'm on your ass. 1, 2, 3. Who the fuck is that, G?
I don't know. I'm in your face.
Get your dumbass on the other side of this gate. Who the fuck? Dumbass nigga. This time.
As if someone was climbing over to enter the house. Seconds later, sounds of a struggle were heard, and the video cut off. This was the last image of Ernest. About 15 minutes later, his body was found inside the house. By the time the ambulance arrived, it was too late. The intruders were 2 robbers who had entered the house, fought with Ernest, and took his life. Slip. In a construction site in Spain, workers were diligently performing their tasks. With a deep drop beneath them, they worked cautiously, secured by safety harnesses, as the slightest misstep could prove catastrophic. One worker, focused on navigating a high platform, suddenly lost his balance. The guardrail behind him failed to hold, and then everything happened so quickly that even those nearby couldn't prevent his fall.
Level 6. Bizarre bus accident. On June 24, 2017, a strange and shocking traffic accident occurred in Reading, England, captured on video and quickly going viral. Around 9 a.m., Simon Smith, 53, was crossing Gun Street when a massive double-decker bus, driven by Cheikh Douda Senghor, barreled into the street at high speed. Senghor, operating Reading's bus number 17, appeared to lose control, mistakenly pressing the accelerator instead of the brake. The bus struck Simon from behind, with such force that he was thrown 20 feet, 6 meters, onto the sidewalk. Miraculously, the impact propelled him clear of the bus's wheels, sparing him from being crushed. Astonishingly, Simon stood up almost immediately, took a few steps, and entered the purple turtle bar to take refuge. Simon later shared, "I came down the street, it was early morning. I'd gone to pay in a wage check at my bank. I make that journey every Saturday. I didn't think anything of it, but then I heard some banging behind me, and I was hit from behind." The driver stopped the bus and rushed to Simon's side. Bystanders, police, and emergency services soon arrived. Initially, police doubted Simon's claim, unable to believe someone could remain conscious after such a collision. But CCTV footage confirmed the violent impact. Simon was taken to a hospital where he was treated for injuries to his ribs, shoulder, and hands, along with severe internal and external bruising. "Grateful to have survived," he reflected. "I feel very lucky to be alive. On another day, I would have been with my wife and my 5-year-old walking with them. I'm feeling quite traumatized that I should be dead, and they could have been them." Senghor expressed remorse, apologized, and faced legal consequences. He was sentenced to 8 months in prison, suspended for a year, ordered to complete 250 hours of unpaid work, and required to attend a 5-day rehabilitation program. He was also mandated to retake an extended driving test after his ban. Bon Skinny.
In early 2019, a strange TikTok account called Bon Skinny appeared. It was active until 2020, gaining up to 90,000 followers before vanishing completely. Its Instagram and TikTok accounts were shut down, erased from the internet. At first, it seemed like a typical account of a woman in her 20 seconds posting dance videos, but as time passed, followers noticed strange and unsettling details. Not only were her statements odd, but the setting of her videos was bizarre. Not a room or house, but more like a basement or garage with cracked, dilapidated walls. In one video, she said strange things about her living situation, raising suspicions that someone might have kidnapped her and other girls, forcing them to create content.
Also, I want to talk about the other room, the pink one. That is my friend's, or not my friend, but the other girl that lives here. But I live in this room because the other girls live in that room. But this is my forever room. This is where I live, and no one really knows that I live here. And it's really funny because sometimes I really scare them at night. So I'm like, ah! And they're like, oh my God!
The story didn't end there. Bonnie disappeared from TikTok for a while, with no new videos, heightening fears that she was in danger, or worse. Followers contacted the police, but with no clear information about Bonnie's location, it led nowhere. Then, a second figure appeared in her content, making things even scarier. A person called Mr. Man, who claimed to be Bonnie's foster father. He posted, saying, "As some of you know, Bonnie ran away from her housing, adding that Bonnie will have her phone in possibly a week or two. Do not call the cops." This post, seemingly from Bonnie's unnamed foster father, terrified people further, suggesting someone had complete control over her life. It appeared Bonnie was imprisoned by Mr. Man, unable to leave her room. Though she seemed to be in her 20 seconds, her voice made people think she was older. Her age didn't matter, as Mr. Man posted a caption showing Bonnie locked in a cage, or a photo Bonnie shared showed her on the shoulders of a man who appeared to be 40-50 years old. People speculated he was either her real foster father or someone holding her captive and harming her, as Bonnie's mental state seemed fragile. Questions about Bonnie and Mr. Man grew: who they were, where they lived, why she wore a mask. One answer came when her Instagram was found, showing photos of facial surgeries on girls and a post about Cruzon syndrome, a condition where the developing fetus's skull and facial bones fuse early or are unable to expand. Thus, normal bone growth cannot occur. Fusion of different sutures leads to abnormal patterns of growth of the skull. Most believed Bonnie wore a mask due to a facial condition and dreamed of changing her appearance, while Mr. Man mocked her. Followers tagged police and the FBI, trying to uncover her identity, location, and the purpose of her videos. Eventually, Bonnie revealed the truth and closed her accounts. She confirmed a facial condition prevented her from showing her face, but the rest was staged. Mr. Man was never real. She was never in danger or kidnapped. She said she never wanted people to pry so deeply into her life. If she could one day live normally, she'd return to the camera, but until then, she'd stop posting.
Gates of Hell.
On August 26, 2023, around 6:30 p.m., a horrific disaster struck the small village of Crvedia, near Romania's capital, just 30 kilometers from Bucharest. A liquid petroleum gas station erupted in two deafening explosions that shook the area. The first blast ignited a massive fire, its terrifying glow visible for kilometers, shattering nearby windows. Before the dust settled, a second, even more powerful explosion tore through. Hurling gas cylinders into the air, crashing into walls and the ground with bone-chilling force. Terrified residents fled their homes as sirens from ambulances and fire trucks echoed in the distance. Liquid petroleum gas, highly flammable, fueled the inferno with the slightest spark or breeze. Reports stated that 26 firefighters were injured, some with severe burns requiring hospitalization. One person, likely a station worker caught in the first blast, lost their life. Another 46 people, including local residents and rescuers, were injured. The second explosion spread the flames to nearby homes, completely destroying several buildings. Investigations revealed the Crvedia gas station, owned by a private company, failed to meet safety standards. It lacked proper permits for storing large volumes of gas, and safety inspections were inadequate. A small leak in one tank, likely ignited by a spark or environmental heat, triggered the first explosion. The second occurred when heat and pressure reached other tanks, causing a chain reaction that turned the station into what locals called the Gates of Hell.
Level 7. Defending territory.
On October 1, 2022, an unexpected incident occurred on Mount Futago in Saitama Prefecture, Japan. Mount Futago, a relatively low peak at about 1,166 meters, has a rocky, sharp trail designed for experienced climbers, fraught with danger. A 40-year-old mountaineer with 8 years of experience was descending the rocky path. At first, everything was calm. He moved carefully, the mountain's scenery seemingly serene, until an Asiatic black bear suddenly appeared above the rocks. The man tried to react quickly, but the bear attacked multiple times. He sustained only a few scratches on his hand and a sprained right wrist. In an interview, the climber said, "I invaded bear territory, but since they attacked me, I defended myself with self-defense." He added, "I always carry a bear bell to scare animals away with noise, but while descending, I turned it off because the sound was annoying." These bears, found in East Asia's forests and mountains, can weigh up to 200 kilograms and fiercely defend their territory, especially if they have cubs.
Horrific hot air balloon crash. On June 21, 2025, in Praia Grande, Santa Catarina, Brazil, a devastating tragedy unfolded, leaving significant casualties. The incident was captured on mobile phone cameras by onlookers. The footage initially shows a massive vibrant hot air balloon carrying 21 passengers, which had faced technical issues and made an emergency landing due to problems with its burner. After adjustments, the balloon relaunched with 8 passengers, met with cheers and applause from the crowd. The decision to fly again proved catastrophic. As spectators filmed the picturesque ascent, everything seemed normal until an unexpected horror unfolded. Minutes into the flight, at a significant height, the crowd noticed someone dangling from the balloon. Anxiety turned to dread when a second person jumped from the perilous height, signaling something was terribly wrong. Smoke rising from the balloon confirmed their fears. It was on fire. The footage captured 4 people falling from approximately 150 feet, 45 meters, appearing as mere specks in the sky. A gut-wrenching sight. The remaining 4 passengers, too terrified to jump, perished as the burning basket and wreckage crashed. All 8 on board lost their lives in a horrific manner, while the 13 who opted out of the second flight returned home safely. The balloon company issued apologies to the victims' families, but for those lost, a joyful outing turned into an irreparable tragedy. Collapse.
A family of 4 was living in their relatively old home. The mother, holding her newborn, was busy with her 3 young children when they heard a sound from the ceiling. They paused for a few seconds, then realized something was wrong and fled, except for the youngest child, too small to move on their own. Everyone was screaming as the mother noticed her youngest was still inside, in a place about to be reduced to rubble. Miraculously, every family member was saved.
Hollywood-style car crash on the highway. On July 14, 2021, a shocking and unexpected accident unfolded on Onstadt Road near Highway 99 in Yuba City, California, recorded by the Peterson family's dashcam. Around 8 a.m., Lily, her husband Michael, and 2 of their children were driving home from their daughter's house, engrossed in conversation. As Michael spoke to Lily, he noticed her staring in horror to the left. Turning his head, he saw a Toyota Camry soaring through the air like a scene from a Hollywood action film, hurtling straight toward them. Michael braked just in time as the car, having veered off a side road, flipped upside down and crashed onto the street 30 feet away.
I hope they wash my truck tomorrow. I just came, there was 2 more things I need to put on that list.
Lily and their 11-year-old daughter in the back seat screamed in terror at the harrowing sight. Michael urgently told his family to call 911. Shocked and frantic, the couple struggled to explain the street name and what they'd witnessed to the police.
99 and Peace Road and Onstadt. It's on Onstadt. It's on Onstadt.
Okay, can someone talk in the phone so I can hear what's going on?
I'm sorry, it's, yeah, this car came flying over the embankment. It's on Onstadt. Hold on.
Stop it.
I'm afraid to go over there, but here.
Amid a cloud of dust, Michael gathered the courage to approach the overturned car, hoping to help. To his astonishment, the driver, a 26-year-old woman, and another passenger were conscious and alive. They had been involved in a hit-and-run chase, losing control of the vehicle, leading to the dramatic crash.
Yeah, it looks like a scene from an action movie, but it was real life. Investigators say the driver was likely fleeing a hit and run and speeding down East Onstadt Road. The problem was she hit a left curve and was going way too fast and drove up this embankment. You can see the tire marks in the grass and car parts strewn about, basically serving as a launch pad that sent the Toyota Camry flying several feet through the air, clearing power lines and landing on the other side of Pease Road overpass.
Michael doused a small fire with a water bottle to prevent further danger and urged the injured not to move until help arrived. The driver was hospitalized, and remarkably, she recovered without serious injuries. The incident left a lasting mark on the Peterson family. Though physically unharmed and lucky to avoid a collision, the emotional toll lingered, reminding them how deeply such events can scar the psyche long after the wreckage is cleared.